one of the things I like to talk about are peak experiences. One of the reasons we're attracted to barbershop is because we enjoy peak experiences, like the one we just did. Hearing a chord ring is a peak experience. Singing a beautiful ballad about your mother is often a peak experience. Some of us didn't have the perfect kind of mother, but that we sing about in the songs, but that's okay. So any of those are peak experiences. And another piece of peak experience is the camaraderie that we share. There's a philosopher by the name of Arthur Koestler that I read somewhere back in college studies, and he describes 3 kinds of peak experiences, and he describes them with these nice short little words. One of the first peak experiences he describes is the experience. That's when something happens that just takes you away from all your worldly cares and puts you in that place. And maybe even that you feel like, this is nirvana. If I could go to heaven right now, that would be, say that again. So that's a peak experience. How many of you ever had that kind of experience in barbershop? Yeah, right, right now. So that was the first peak experience that he would describe as part of our life experience. And the second one was the aha experience. Say that. Aha. That means I learned something new. I discovered something new. I'm in a better place than I was before in my life. I'm stimulated by what just happened. How many of you had an aha experience in barbershop? That's what Harmony College is all about, right? Aha! So those are the first 2 peak experiences, and the third one I think is just perfect as it combines the first 2 and becomes the ha-ha experience. Ha-ha. And of course, isn't laughter a peak experience? And have we had a chance of doing some laughter this weekend? Yes. So we've had all 3 kinds of peak experiences as a part of our barbershop life, and I think that's one of the reasons that we use an unfortunate term over in the States that says we think that barbershop sucks. It sucks you in. It absolutely sucks you into the chords, and it sucks you into the experience of the and the ha-ha and the aha experience. And so that's really a part of what this is all about. I majored in music in college and discovered barbershop about 3 years out of college. So I was 24 years old. How many of you realize that you should have discovered barbershop earlier in your life? Everybody's hand almost. Unless you were a barber brat, then maybe you discovered it early enough. But it has fulfilled so much in my life. I was going to be a music teacher. I abandoned my working on my master's degree to make some money for a change, and I found out that making some money was really quite an experience. And so I was living at home with my parents still, and making about what in today's dollars would be probably about $1,000 a week. Taking inflation into account. And so when you're fresh out of college and making that kind of money, and you go out and buy your first BMW. And so I was enjoying life, and I was working as a church choir director, and bells. We had handbells, so I got 3 handbell choirs, and so that was all I needed until I discovered barbershop. And now I've spent the entire rest of my life not going back to school, finishing my master's degree, not teaching, but guess what? Teaching. Teaching barbershop here and other places around the world. I had an opportunity to go to Australia about 4 times. I've been to New Zealand about the same number of times. Scandinavia and snobs maybe 4 or 5 times. In fact, A trip to Scandinavia was scheduled conveniently enough 1 week after my wife and I got married. And so as part of our honeymoon was spent flying, we went through Heathrow and then over to Stockholm and spent the weekend with the barbershoppers there, and then came back. And a fellow in the Bristol club had said, well, on your way back, please stop in here, and we have a lovely beach house down on the south coast, and we'd love to have you as our guest to have your honeymoon in our beach house. So we spent the rest of that week in the beautiful south coast of England in the month of November. Let's see, we learned what wind was like. Although it didn't rain too much, but we certainly spent a lot of time walking this way. So that was again part of our wonderful experience at getting to do barbershop worldwide, and of course getting to know folks. And we'd been to the Great Western Chorus a number of times, and Ken Taylor. How many of you remember Ken Taylor? He was the director there, and just wonderful gentleman that we got to meet on our first trip here. Checking my notes. Where'd they go? There they are. Okay. And just a little bit in closing here. And we'll sing before we go, since you're not allowed to just listen to me talk and not sing something. The closing that I have is, it's about living life to its fullest. I think that many of my life choices, because of barbershop, were, let's see, I could either go work harder and make more money at my job living, or I could go sing barbershop and ring some chords. Ever find yourself in that particular position? Using these, as we talked about, life peak experiences, and just living for what is really beautiful, and that is the number of times that I can say in my life that I've spent where I have been a little down, okay, a little on the depressed side, and guess what cured that? Going to the chapter meeting, going to sing with the quartet. I've been in the same quartet for 33 years. Great Western Timber we call it, Great Western Timber Company, spelled with an R-E. And the four of us raised our families together, and now we've all got grandchildren, and we're singing now, have competed for the last 4 or 5 years in the senior quartet contest. And that's a life experience of being with the same 4 guys and ladies for almost all of our barbershop lives. Those are peak experiences, and experiences that you should cherish. So whenever you get a chance, ladies and gentlemen, to say thank you to the person next to you, or to the barbershoppers you see at home, or to your musical director or section leader, or even to your club chairman who worked very hard, please do that and say thank you so much for being a part of my barbershop life. And I think you'll just live a better life as a result of doing that. Thank you so much. you.